In that case, I think we go back to Yavanna.
Okay.
I think we should give Yavanna her waffling opportunity maybe with Ale, maybe with somebody else.
Okay.
Where she's like, where she's kind of surprised by the nature of the problem.
Okay.
Where I never thought that the size of the world would be an issue.
Okay. Right? I would like to have Varda present in that conversation so we don't lose her.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. Because she's taking in. This is actually really good because she's taking in the different opinions.
Yeah.
She's taking in all the sides of this issue, which means that we're doing our job, essentially.
Yeah. I think the sort of the vibe at the end of the first sort of debate when they decide to bring the 3 ambassadors should basically be most people sort of assume, yeah, this is going to be fine. We're going to bring them over and they're going to see it and it's going to be awesome and everybody's going to come.
Right.
And this is where we start getting to the point where we're like, this is more complicated than we thought, actually. Like, we haven't really considered things from the point should be they haven't considered things from the elves' perspective.
Yes.
And that is Vanna's sort of like Yavanna's, sorry. That is Yavanna's sort of realization that, like, man, this world was much easier when it was just us, and now they're here, and nothing kind of works the way that we have been making it work so far.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Like,
and then we start getting, for example,
it's probably think about it this way: like, there's 100% natural animals that Yavanna has made that are too dangerous for us.
Yep.
Okay? I mean, like, we're not talking like the monsters that Melkor twists. We're talking about like wolves and lions. Like, these are things we can't handle without technology and numbers.
Yep.
So, like, she never thought that was going to be an issue.
Or not necessarily that she didn't think it would be an issue, because she knows what a predator is, right?
Right. But she didn't necessarily think that we were going to be the prey.
Well,
she might not have thought that the children would be hurt by her creatures.
Yeah,
right.
She wouldn't have. I guess she wouldn't have put it in those. She wouldn't have put it in those terms, right? The fact that a predator needs prey.
Well, they don't. Well, no. Of course, she knows that they need prey. But they don't attack her. They don't attack the other Ainur.
Yeah, but that's a little too naive for me. I think it's more just
why would she assume that the children who are going to be thinking and knowing beings like them would be in any danger?
Yeah.
That's an interesting, sort of theoretical discussion.
Yeah.
I think it's good for us to know about that, but I feel like...
Well, yeah, no, I don't want to get too intense with that on screen, but...
Yeah, I think that if we just bring up the scope of the world and how all of her ecosystems are not casually saunter from one to another when you're an elf, but you can when you're hurt.
Yeah, exactly. So that makes more sense.
I feel like enough of a problem.
Yeah.
But the animal thing is interesting. I hadn't thought of that.
Yeah. I hadn't until just now either. So, yeah. First time for everything.
So, for this scene, I guess, like, Yavanna should start it, and she's kind of like, Who is she talking to? Is she talking directly to Varda, where she's like, I'm kind of torn on this?
Elwe and Varda, because I think Elwe is the one that's going to
really
counteract her.
Get everybody in here. This is awesome, and we need everybody.
Right, and also, he's the voice of that, but also, like, think of it, like, he made the dwarves, so he kind of saw better than anybody else what the children were going to be like. his vision's not perfect either, but he's the one that knew what they were going to be like the most.
Physically, anyway.
Right. So he is, he's the one.
Actually, that might not be such a. His angle could kind of be like, well, why don't we just bring him here? Like, this is the best of everything already.
Well, we've already established that question.
Right.
But I guess he could basically be like, I don't understand what your problem is. Why wouldn't we bring them here?
Yeah.
And I feel like the way that he's able to bring Yavanna over is, we made all of this stuff here. Don't you want the elves to see it?
Yeah.
And maybe Varda can at least leave them with a moment of, the trees are beautiful.
Right.
But I made the stars for the elves.
Right.
And they can't see them here.
Yeah.
I do want that to come up. Do we want Varda to say that? Or do we want the elves who come over, the ambassadors, to notice that? Like, wow, this Valinor place is amazing. It's got everything except not the stars.
But that kind of pushes us back the other. Well, yeah, no, I would like Finway to say it.
I would like Finway to say it in reference to the fact that he wants to go get Muriel. Like, he may not be thinking of it in terms of that context of he misses the starlight and misses Muriel, right? Like he's the connection for him is starlight and Muriel, right? But for Varda, it's a more revelatory sort of expression of like, oh man, they're not gonna see, you know what I mean? Like this is not right. Like almost totally right.
Okay, so we do need to put it in Varda's mouth.
I think we can have it both ways. If we have Varda expressing it more as this is part of who they are from it.
Right.
It's a very different tone than, than being like the stars.
Yeah. For me, that particular expression of Finway saying like, I miss the starlight and not really thinking long term, like, and I'm never gonna see it from, here. I miss the starlight. I want to go get my girlfriend. Right. And then, and Varda's sort of extrapolating like, oh man, like, yeah, that's a big deal. Like, I don't necessarily know if she's been on the fence until he says that or not, but I think it would be good for that to be like a clarifying moment for her. Where she's like,
if we don't have an idea that she's on the fence from Act 1, then we have no.
Okay, then there you go. For her. That's the moment where she's like, okay, yeah, it's almost right, and this is not the way we should be doing this. So,
okay,
but then,
that's our second. That's our second pinch. Then that's like near the end of Act 3. Yeah. So Act 4 would start with her discussion with Manwë. He tells her to go to but then when but that kind of takes the wind out of his sails when he's like, did you talk to them? And she says, yeah, I just talked to them like 10 minutes ago.
Well, but she didn't talk
unless she's not actually interacting with them.
Maybe she's been watching and listening, but maybe she hasn't spoken with them yet.
Right. Yeah. Okay, that's good. All right. And then she goes and talks to Ingwe, and we still got to get there. We got to get to that. But
actually, I think that should be a big scene. Not have you talk to them, but like have all of the Valar kind of come together and talk to the three. To have them talk to the three ambassadors and be like, so what's it going to be? What are we going to do now? Are you going to bring your people here, or are we going to, or what? And have like sort of a final.
Well, that kind of brings the ambassadors up to the same level as the Valar and includes them on the Valar's decision.
But that was the whole point of bringing ambassadors.
Right.
Yeah, I get that. But Well, no, in the book,
really
the whole point of bringing in the ambassadors was to figure out, was to be able to tell the elves with people that they trust that it's cool to come to Valinor.
But that's you're still including them in the decision, right? Like, this is not a decree from on high that the elves will come to Valinor. This is still an invitation.
No, I understand that, but they're not included on the decision to extend the invitation.
No, but at this point, well, no, I guess
the invitation has been extended.
Yeah, you're right that this is not the scene for her to then talk to the 3 ambassadors.
Well, also, if we don't I'm thinking that we need to get like a more because otherwise it's not Varda's story. If we don't have her, she's got to talk to them.
You're right.
Personally.
Yep. You're right.
I have playing out in my head, and with the disclaimer, I'm like a big sap. And people following, like, I love that kind of stuff. That's me. But like him saying something along the lines of like, I miss Muriel, and she's like, what's Muriel like? And him saying, and basically, she's like my family.
Oh, that's so good.
Yeah, no, I like that.
Oh, good. Write it down. Somebody write it down.
See, Karina, and you keep saying that you don't bring anything to this.
Yeah. So good. He's not even directly referencing the fact that he can't see the stars anymore. That's so good. Good.
So what we could do then? All right. Well, we have to get the ambassadors in Valinor in Act 2.
Yeah.
Okay. So we have the scene. We have the scene in the selection of ambassadors scene, the leaving of the ambassadors, the conversation between Yavanna, Aule, and Varda, the arrival of the ambassadors is like the midpoint now.
Yeah.
Okay. Which, oh my God. So we have the moment between, now we have to, do we want the moment between Vaire and Finwë?
Let's just make the season 26 episodes. Because there's not enough space for all this crap. Do we want the scene between Vaire and...
Not the scene, the moment during the greeting, during the...
Oh, yes, we still have to have that, I think.
Okay, all right.
Because the whole point of the episode is going to be the Valar trying to sort out how they actually feel about the elves, and getting to know them. Vaire's reaction is unusual and different, so we should show it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, and it's still like the push, I think, that sends him with... I still think him seeing himself and Muriel having a baby is relevant to what's going on with Finwë. I don't think we have to jettison that for this episode.
No, I think we just have to make it not the climax of the episode, that's all.
Exactly. Yeah. It's no longer the focus, but it is still relevant. It's still a turning point for Finwë, but it's just not, that's the B-plot resolution, essentially.
All right. So let's say that we can... Here's a question. Can we move the Finding of the Tapestry event up earlier now? Sure. Because it's no longer like a climax moment.
Yes.
I think so.
But I still think that's Act 3 at the earliest.
Yeah.
So we get... So the midpoint is the greeting scene.
Yeah.
Okay. Then now we're in Act 3. All right, that was our midpoint. Act 3, we're gonna get our Valinor is awesome montage.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Learning stuff with Aule.
Yeah.
Playing checkers with Manwë. All the good stuff. Lorien,
They do all that. Lorien, yeah. They have to walk through the gardens.
Right.
And I think when they were walking through the gardens of Lorien is when we were going to introduce the little side story with Melian.
All right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it's possible that Elwe sees her.
Yes. Oh yeah, I'd forgotten about that. Yes.
Yeah.
He sees her.
And then she's gone.
Yes, he sees her. He's dumbfounded. So, you know what we should have happen, because this happens all the time. We should totally have he sees her, he's staring at her, somebody taps on his shoulder like, hey, what are you doing? And he looks back and she's gone.
Yeah, something like that.
I would rather have her just happen to be walking through a particularly dense grove of trees, and they kind of pass by like a particular corridor together where like she's really far away with maybe another group and he's with his little buddies being led around, and they see each other across this long corridor of no trees, and then she walks past the tree line, and then he kind of just stops in his tracks and like, and then they're like, what's the matter with you? And it's like, it's fine, I think. I saw something.
We could do both.
Yeah.
We could do both of those things.
Yeah.
Do we want to have the conversation with Melian talking about going to Middle-earth before or after that scene?
Well, I would say maybe because if it's after, if it's after,
there's a reason I asked.
Yeah, no, I see what you're saying. If it's after, it may seem to some people that influenced her decision.
Mm-hmm. But that's okay, because actually that is what she's going to Middle-earth for, so who cares if it influenced her decision?
Yeah, but the thing is that's not really what she... But, like, it's not like she's like, hey, I want to...
I don't think she needs to see him.
I want to go... You know,
hey, those children are really cute. I want to go pick one up. Yeah,
right,
that's not.
Yeah,
no, I don't think she needs to see him. I think she does. I think she doesn't see them at all.
Okay, all right. That's all right. In that case, I'm okay
he sees
with that.
her, and he's kind of like flabbergasted. But then he's still being guided through Lorien. You know.
Right. Yeah.
Like she needs to be in a throng of other Maiar, just kind of wandering around being Maiar. You know. And
would it ruin the scene if she had her conversation with whoever she's with first, and then we show the ambassadors come through and catch sight of her?
Way better. No, I like that way better, actually.
Okay.
That's how we get to that scene. Is there? She's talking to her fellow Maiar about the impending visitation and all that stuff, and then we have that moment where we shift to Finway's perspective. Or not Finway.
I don't necessarily want to make it. I don't want to necessarily make it super clear that she's going to go, though.
No, they're
just talking about the possibility.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. All right. I just wanted to clarify that. Okay. So we see. So he sees her. He stops enthralled.
She doesn't even notice
passing the night. She doesn't notice him because that's hilarious, and. The tour moves on.
Writ large.
Right. Okay. So
when you're gonna be my girl.
What?
No?
Are you gonna be that girl? I think I can guess.
No, when you're my girl, it's the types of shots that are going to be cut and put to that music and put on YouTube someday. So
yeah. And more
power
to those YouTube editors.
Yes.
So it'll be funny.
Yeah. So no, it's okay. It's okay. All right. So I want to figure out a way to lead into the virate, the tapestry scene. And I'm really curious as to how we're going to get there without it just being a random scene in the middle, which I guess is okay. But I don't want.
One possibility is that the tapestry is hung in the courtyard outside of the halls of Mandos.
Right.
And at some point, we were going to have Ole explain to Finway what happened to Melkor, which possibly involves standing outside the halls of Mandos. to have that conversation.
Okay. So this is a scene. This is an outside of the point of view of Vire scene.
Right.
So as part of the Valinor is Awesome montage, at the end of the Valinor is Awesome montage, Elwe is describing the finer points of making something to Finwë. And Finwë asked, hey, you know, all this stuff is cool and I think it's great. I mean, this is amazing. But what was all of that shaking and craziness?